for the faint of heart. We all stars, win or lose, we don't play the part. And when the going getting tough, I get to going hard. You bring your best in you.
Okay. Welcome to the Boss the Beast podcast. Big news today.
Poop finger.
Melissa reactivated the Instagram.
Yeah.
So we do our normal morning routine. We go out to our little breakfast before we hit arms. We order the food. I'm sitting there. She's like, hey, wash my hands, whatever. So I'm sitting there.
No, I really didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, she had to go to the bathroom. So I'm like finishing a post that I was making, and then I click out and Miss Beast on the Instagram story. I'm like, what the fuck? Click on it, and then I'm like, I just messaged right on there. What the fuck? When did you bring this up? She didn't even tell me she did it. She didn't tag me in any videos. I'm like, what the hell? And she comes back laughing because I had just texted her. She was coming out the bathroom. She was laughing.
I saw it. It came through on my watch, and it made me laugh. And everybody in the restaurant was looking at me because I'm walking by myself. I'm just laughing. Like, don't mind me.
She's just laughing right as she come out the bathroom. People were like, what happened?
Because I looked and I just started laughing.
Oh, man. Anyway, she's back on. Bother her as much as you want. Oh, man. Got some fun things to talk about today. Whew, I don't know where to start. Now, let's go ahead and start with poop finger. So we were chatting about, I was making some food in here, going out to eat, trying to figure out, I think we had a free meal yesterday because we had a free meal this morning.
Yeah, every time we have a free meal, Rafe's first thing that he says is Burger King.
We never go, but I just say it.
And I'm like,
time.
no. Like, it's not that I don't think that Burger King tastes good. It tastes fine when I'm in the mood for absolute garbage.
It tastes delicious. What are you talking about?
But the times that we've gone there, we pull up in the drive-thru, and you got freaking
Convict 1, 2, and homeless.
I don't know where
3.
they find these people that work there, but I just take one look and I'm like, no, I don't want anything, because I don't know, those people just, like, I know they don't wash their hands. I know they're back there probably freaking blowing their nose, probably wipe their butt with their poop finger. They're in there making the burger with their poop finger.
Oh, man.
And I get freaked out when I see people that I'm like, their hygiene is not good. I don't want to eat the food that they make. That's disgusting. Because then, even though it tastes fine, it probably has some poop finger in it. And maybe some booger finger or mouth breath. Ugh,
You
gross.
don't feel that way about all restaurants.
No,
just IHOP.
Yeah.
Denny's.
Fast food.
You know why? You know why though?
Yeah.
Because working at the jail in intake, most of the mess ups that come in there are the cooks.
On the paperwork that we get, it tells you what their occupation is, and I would always look at that stuff, and I'm like, oh, this person worked at IHOP. Definitely not going there ever again.
Just
this person worked at
all of our
Taco Bell. That's why I don't eat there.
Oh man.
But like actual upscale restaurants, they have legit cooks. That I'm fine with. But fast food just gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I also don't like community food.
Community food, people bringing potluck. You're like, oh man.
Yeah. Every time we have a potluck or something like that at work, I don't usually partake, and it's mostly because I'm like, I don't know what these people's houses look like. Do they clean the counter with Clorox or 409?
Or is their cat walking on the counter right after they jumped out the litter box? Or they're like petting their dog, and then mixing your cookies up.
Yeah, like with your cat's tail in the freaking bowl while you were making the food.
We all have done it in our own kitchen with our own food. Not petting the animals. That's disgusting. So if you guys do that, fix that. But like, having a bite out of it, like little taste test, that's one thing. But man, if your poop-footed cat is walking across your countertops, and you're like, no, and you're like throwing them off, and then you go right back into kneading that dough or whatever you're making,
And it's not that is part of it, but then also like at potlucks, everybody's putting their hand in the same bowl. And I know none of you motherfuckers wash your hands before you stuck it in that bowl. So unless I'm the first hand in the pot, I ain't touching any of that. That's just the bottom line for me.
Yeah, I've been in the male's bathroom.
Yeah, those dudes don't wash their hands. I've seen plenty of dudes walk out the bathroom at the gym and they still got chalk on their hands. I'm like,
gonna throw the ladies
sick.
underneath. Lady jumps in and out the bathroom. I'm like, That's faster than I can whip it out and make it happen. There ain't no hands being washed there. That's disgusting, guys. Like,
and always wash your
literally.
hands when you leave the gym.
And you guys wonder why you're sick all the freaking time. You know?
Everybody wonders why they're sick.
And maybe because we work in those environments, that's why we have such good immunities. Because we just got poop finger mouth all the time, I guess. I don't know.
No poop fingers in my food, okay? I don't want any fast food poop fingers. I don't want any community food poop fingers.
Oh, wait, hold on.
So if you ever hear the term poop finger, I'm referring to food that's contaminated.
I got a new belt.
We're not talking about this.
Hey,
I'm still mad.
this is a good thing, not a bad thing. Okay, I got a new belt, and I had no expectations, but a beautiful belt. Yeah. Can you see it right way or is it back way? See, I'll do it this way.
Oh, that was the right way. Oh, I don't know.
It's freaking awesome. Shout out to Cardello for a good belt.
So this is what happened there. I ordered it December 11th.
It's a story. There's a story for everything, folks.
And it said, 12-week production time
Christmas
or whatever.
present, yeah.
And I knew I wasn't going to make it here in time, and that's fine. I just wrapped up I printed out the receipt, and then I put it in a box. And
A big box. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
made it look
I
like
added
it
a
was a
little
big-
piece of paper in there.
it was a very empty big box. So anyway, it arrived yesterday. And I was excited that I finally got the tracking, and I was like, "Yay, he's finally gonna get his belt." So he opens it. We're standing in the kitchen, and I wasn't looking at the box as he was opening it. I don't even know what I was doing, something else. And he's like, "Oh, it's white," and I'm like, and I look, and I'm like, "What the fuck? I did not order a white belt. I swear to God, you guys, I did not order a white belt. I clicked on the black belt on the page, 310 DL. The one that's white says white." 310 DL, and it's a white belt. I did not pick a white belt, so I've emailed them. I'm waiting for a reply. I'm not expecting a refund or anything like that. I just want to know.
Just another belt. I mean, we want a different design this time too. This one's
if they
badass.
discover that it was an error on their end and they want to send another one that's black and the correct way that I made it, that would be cool. But if not, just tell me that I want proof that I actually ordered a white belt, because I look at everything on my end and there's nothing that says a white belt. So
I like the belt.
it's
guys.
nice. It is beautiful.
My truck's white with the same color logos for the gym. I got lots of white shoes with red in it. Works good.
Yeah, it's white. It's not, it looks nice and everything. I just know for a fact I did not order a white belt. I would not have done that.
See, to me, it's art because she already bought me one that said, like 2 years ago, says the Rafe Teich, the boss, on black. So having something different is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
But not expected, but I actually kind of prefer it, to be honest. But
It's a very nice belt. I'm not saying that it's not nice. I'm just saying I know for a fact I would not have chosen a white belt. But it does look cool.
now that we got done with the poop finger,
Poop finger.
move on.
Belt.
Oh, have you guys seen what the NPC fucking dropped today?
IFBB.
Yeah, NBC, IFBB. Yeah, it's IFBB, sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't pertain to the NPC. Well, it does pertain to the NPC,
yeah.
because if you're a pro and you...
Well, you could be NPC again here real shortly. So this is existing IFBB Pro athletes. This is section 8 on this new
rule book or
rule
whatever
book
they
setting
call
that
it.
they put in there. And I haven't got the email yet, have you?
Neither have I.
Like, come on now. So we shouldn't be finding this out through social media. We should be having an email first, you know? But it says any active member who chooses to not renew his membership automatically becomes inactive and may remain inactive for up to 3 years. Both active and inactive members must abide by the IFBB Professional League rules and policies. If a member does not become active within that 3-year period, the member's pro status will be canceled and only can be reestablished through a pro qualifier. So they drop you back down into the NBC ranks, and you got to re-compete, re-win an IFBB card if you want to compete again. If you don't pay them their tri-annual, whatever they want to call it, every 3-year fee.
No, it's an annual fee.
No, hold on. It says the 3-year period.
Yeah.
Within a 3-year period.
So you have to buy a card, pay for your card within 3 years of your, how do I say this? For example, I last competed in 2023. So I have until...
Here, I'll drop this. Athletes who held IFBB Pro status before 2023 and who have not renewed, so you didn't compete, it's fine, you're still a pro, you have not renewed in the old rule book, have until December 31st, 2025 this year to become an active member. Otherwise, their IFBB Pro status will be canceled, and the only way to reestablish is through another pro qualifier in the NPC. So they're giving you a 3 years. You get your card, you got 3 years all the time. You can drop it, but if you don't pay them every 3 years, they're going to assume that you're not an IFBB Pro. Now, how many gals and guys do we know that put that shit on hold for 4, 5, 6, 8 years?
And then I did it from 2017 or from
16.
2016 to
2020. Yeah.
2020. I didn't compete, and then I came back and I freaking swept the floor. So even though you haven't been on stage for 4 years, doesn't mean you're gonna come back looking like a bag of dicks.
So first off, it's like, okay, it's a money grab. They're trying to, and all these rules and regulations are coming up with this.
It's all money. They just want to make more money.
Kind of ridiculous. But think about it from the NPC level now. Now pros are gonna have to pay to go compete with people who have never competed before, essentially, right? Or first timers, right? So and man, the best part of being a pro is that you guys know how to do all that stuff behind stage, and there's not all that cluster.
Yeah, the NPC backstage is a clusterfuck. Yeah. And the pros, at least, it's very organized. It's quick. You're in and out of the show. You're not sitting back there for friggin' hours.
It's promoter dependent, but just in general, because the athletes are not experienced back there, there's tons of questions and this and that. The other pros are just like chilling. It's like typing on stage, boom, they go do it, right? Yeah. So essentially, what is the pro card fee normally? I didn't look that part up.
I think it's like $250 a year, I want to say.
Yeah, so...
I think.
So you'll have to get yours this year in order to maintain pro status if you want to keep it. And it's like, I mean, yeah, let's be honest. It's very big business style because as a nurse, is it a 5 year? As a contractor, there were 5 years.
Every 4 years for a nursing license.
So a contract was 5 years here in Arizona and California. So if you let your contractor's license lapse, you can be good, but you have to renew it before that 5 years, or you have to take all of the entry tests again and requalify. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get it from a business perspective, but from an athlete's perspective, we're not. I mean, these women aren't even making money at the pro shows.
Yeah, we don't make jack crap.
The dudes aren't even making money at the shows. I mean, you got 20 guys at a show, 5 guys walk away with something, and the 5th guy's walking away with not even enough to manage his travel to the show. Yeah. Well,
shoot, the women don't even make enough money to pay for a quarter of our expenses to get to the show.
So, it's kind of rough, and that's why Melissa, I'm not going to speak for you, but that's kind of why you just paused your Instagram. You're like, I'm fed up with this crap. There's too much of it. And it's like, I'm doing all this work for what?
Yeah. They're just handing out cards left and right, and now they come up with this new division to give out more cards to people who absolutely are not a fucking bodybuilder. Excuse my French, but I'm sorry.
Look.
Fit Body Beach, whatever it's called, is not bodybuilding. So you're taking away shows from actual bodybuilders and adding this new freaking cheapskate division so girls can go to the gym, LA Fitness, 3 months, get a nice little pump, get on stage, look like a soft
yet again
beach body, and get a pro card.
Yet again.
But yet we don't make any money.
Great business, but it destroys what this sport was started for originally. And the honest reality is there's maybe 4 divisions that we could call bodybuilding. You got men's open, men's 212. I don't even put classic in there, guys, but I guess you could throw classic in there. You got women's bodybuilding and women's physique because those are the muscular divisions. Now, why? Why is it so? Why does it bother us so much? Because the entry level for bikini and fit booty business vision or whatever they're calling this one, and all these other categories don't take that much time. Literally, guys, if you're just a fit, athletic person,
if you have good genetics,
you can literally just
tomorrow
eat an egg white, look at a dumbbell, get on stage in a thong, and win. Right? where obviously there was a lot of life that I had in between teenage nationals, but it took me 4 years to compete to win teenage nationals. And then it took me another 3.5 to 4 years to get my pro card once I came back, 20 years later. So, and that's fast. That's really fast for most guys. Most guys are, you're looking at a usually 5 to 8 year, if you're good, before you're getting that pro card to be an open bodybuilder, right?
I've been doing this consistently without breaks since 2011.
And you won your card, though.
In 2014.
So that was 3 years, and that's super fast. That's not typical.
Not anywhere near being ready for a pro stage at that time.
Exactly.
I was not ready for a pro stage until 2020 when I finally freaking looked the part.
If you compared your physique when you won to girls, and I'm not trying to dog on girls now, but to girls that are winning pro cards now in that division, you can't compare. You weren't as muscular as you are, but you were absolutely conditioned, absolutely proportionate, could pose very well, had great stage. These girls that come up today, I'm like, what are you looking at and comparing yourself to that we aren't, to see that you think that that's ready for this, right? Now, there's a process. I get it. It's your first time. Even me, when I first came back and I got this is a pro card. And then it was like, okay, 4 shows later, then the card, right?
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of it that you got to go through. So I get it. I'm not dogging on people. You got to try it, but then don't just go right back and then compete again. Yeah. Take the time.
Build the size.
Build that base. Yeah.
Work on your condition. Condition doesn't come from doing cardio for 3 months. Like, you got to do this shit every freaking day for years and years on end.
And even my body type, like you do it. When I met you, you were extreme on the cardio. 90 minutes a day.
But was I in prep back then? No.
You just came.
I don't know. I've always done cardio my whole life.
And then she would back it down to an hour, and then she's like 40, and then it was like 3 or 4 years. Then you're like, okay, 45 minutes is good. Yeah. But she does it every day, and what you find when you start doing cardio, it's part of that routine that just, you don't have a good day unless you get the blood moving through the brain and the body, right? So it's just a healthy way to start your day, regardless. But all this shit takes so much time, and people just want to rush it,
People want the easy way out.
And now the federation is saying, here's a way you can rush it.
Yeah.
Now you can be a pro. A pro in what? Showing your ass to the crowd? Like, I'm not trying to be vulgar here, but you get a thong between the cheeks, people are going to show up and look at it.
Yeah, it's a moneymaker. It's like going to a freaking strip club, except it's a bodybuilding event. So they get a bunch of freaking weirdo dudes in there that pay a lot of money.
Girls. But what's the end game here? It's
money.
Yeah, and then when you get to the bigger shows where you have an open men's bodybuilding, which they always put at the end of the day, the women's bodybuilding, which is right before that at the end of the day, but then you have the 11 divisions already. You can't. How are you going to do the Olympia when it's already a packed 2-day event now? Now you're adding another division with 1 million people in it. And I think it would be cool if it was like NPC. Here's a new division. Once you win this division, you can graduate to bikini or the other divisions we already are like, about anyway, to get your pro card to win, But the fact that they're taking this to a pro level, that means...
And isn't it a natty division too?
I know they've added natty divisions this year.
I don't know how they're gonna test or whatever for that, but
so yet again, great business, but is it really helping the sport of true bodybuilding?
Yeah.
And are people? The bodybuilding's always been the same. Like it's a small niche. It's always going to be a small niche. Just more people. Bumstead brought a lot more guys to it. Yet again, they're not the 280-pound dudes, 260-pound dudes that are stepping on stage. They're under. Most of them are under around 200, right? So, still more achievable for everybody, and that's cool. You don't get but people come to watch the freaks. I mean, at the end of the day, you come to watch the big bitches and the big dudes fucking show. The big.
Like, I don't go to shows to watch bikini, and I damn sure ain't going to watch fit body, whatever it's called.
Now, all these people are good people. We're not talking about the athletes.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the athlete. I'm just talking about making this part of bodybuilding. That's not bodybuilding.
Yeah. Anyway, you can see we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
Not because we work so hard for it. And we heard, you know, I guess if you were to use, I guess you could look at it this way. You could use, but already there's bikini, wellness, figure, and yeah.
That's it.
You have already 3 classes that you can get a pro card in and work your way up to become a bodybuilder if you choose, right? Do we need another one?
No.
I don't think so. And that,
Next.
you know, this is what you get when you get this one league or one business. They can kind of just control how everything works. No one can compete.
I'd love to I'd love to become inactive and get back on the amateur stage as a
Oh my gosh.
female bodybuilder.
You can just go up there like this, and everybody like clearly
Oh,
she
God.
wins. It's going to be interesting to see how many people make the mistake of not paying their dues and have to recompete. I think most people are just going to be like middle finger to them, you know.
The fact that we even have to pay for our pro card is, I don't know. It is what it is.
All right, I had a question.
I don't think pro NFL players have to pay to be part of the NFL. I don't think pro
Shit,
basketball
they're
players.
getting contracts as college players.
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Like, it's a business. I get it, but as a professional, you shouldn't have to pay anything. We pay enough to get to the show.
So we had a question from the Milkman 95. Shout out. that's his YouTube name. Cool name.
is it?
He's the Milkman. I have no idea who it is.
The milkman.
The Milkman. How, or what's your opinion on high fat and protein meals if you implement them into your diet and compare them to high protein and high carb meals with lower fat? And he says cheers, so I'm assuming it might be European, from the UK, something like that. So, high fat, high protein, low carb, compared to high protein, high carb, low fat. First off, I think it depends on the body, right? I would say I implement both, not in myself personally, but in athletes. Certain athletes I got do better, because you need an energy source, so you're going to need a fat or a carb, right? But if you have high fats and high carbs, you're probably just going to be fat. You always need protein to be the base in there to build the muscle and to rebuild the muscle. So normally, and this is just what I've seen, myself included, the higher body fat percentage guys probably do a little bit better with less intakes on fat, and placing the carbs at the right time. So in general, this is very general. If you're going to have your fats and carbs, have them earlier in the day, train, and then toward the later end of the day, you're going to bring the carbs down for the most part and implement a little bit more fats. That's pretty general what I see around. I mean, even for you, I mean, it's generally what we kind of play with. She can eat a little bit more fats than I do on diet. When I'm in prep, my proteins are high, so I'm getting a lot of just the trace fats from the meats. But I'm not eating whole eggs. You know, she still has eggs in there. She still will have peanut butter in there, and will probably maintain a certain amount of that in your diet all the way through because your body works well on it. You're also a female. Hormones are regulated off of fat. You know, things like that. There's a time in prep. It don't fucking matter. You got to pull everything to get in shape. You pull everything. But in general, I tend to be a balanced diet type of guy, which means you're going to have a little bit of fats. And it's not a 30-30-30 or whatever these personal training plans,
there's no textbook
certifications have.
Way to do it.
You know, I tend to be a little higher protein base, and for all my athletes, if all blood work looks good, we're going to be a little higher in protein because it satiates. You're not as hungry. It's not going to turn into fat. It's just not going to turn into body fat. So if anything, you'll waste it, but then you'll see that in the blood work. So you'll be able to control that, right? Me being a fatter dude and some of my...
And we're talking clean protein. We're not talking freaking
Yeah, we're talking
chorizo and
I wouldn't call chorizo protein. I call it more fat.
carnitas. Like, we're not talking about good fatty protein. We're talking about chicken,
Lean
steaks,
maybe a little salmon here and there.
lean ground turkey. Mm-hmm. Lean protein sources, not any protein source you can imagine, like a hot dog.
So, I mean, that would be the difference between...
Does that even have protein in it, a hot dog?
Well, I wouldn't call a hot dog protein. I call it fat.
Well, a lot of people think, though, it's meat. Meat. Protein. It's not. Anyway, sorry.
A lot of people think milk is protein, too, and there's fucking ton of carbs and fat in that, too. But, so, I tend to run our diets a little bit more lean protein, so the fat's lower. Trace fats might add in some essential fats throughout the day, and then keep a little higher carb, because I'm going to do the output in the gym and the output in cardio to make up for those carbs so they're never stored as fat, right? And I tend to see when you bring the fat levels up while doing that, whether it's in the meat or whether you add more dietary fats into the mix, when you're a fatter person, you tend to just get fatter. Mm-hmm. Now, when you have a raging metabolism like some of my young kids I coach that are, in their 20s or young 18 to 20, they could literally eat a jar of peanut butter at every meal and not gain any weight. So age, metabolism, body type, I mean, they all have a factor. In general, though, I would say higher protein, moderate carbs around training, use essential fats so you have enough to balance that out throughout the day. What's your take on it? Similar?
I agree with all of that.
I do see in females, though, most of them, there's a little bit more fat throughout the day.
Most females
not
do
all.
better on higher fat, lower carbs, myself included, when I'm in prep.
Hope that answers
Actually,
your question.
feel better too.
Milkman? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of feel, but yet again, 8 weeks out, feeling is not...
Feeling doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Now you're just existing and trying to make it every single day.
Right.
You're trying to just stay afloat.
And this is the cool thing. The human body is so incredible. It will adapt. It doesn't mean it feels good initially. It doesn't mean it feels the best when you're there. But you can actually get to where you're like, I can do this. It's a mental game. I think in the society we have now, we can have anything we want at any point in time, right? So that's I think shutting that part of the brain off is the best tool in any food plan. Because then it's like, well, I'm eating the food. What is food for? It's for energy and fuel, and it's serving a purpose for that. So if you can just, during prep at least, go, okay, that's what it's for, you're going to be great. I mean, 150 years ago, there wasn't processed foods. So you just had whole foods, and it was good. You had a little bit of fruit here and there. I mean, it was awesome. People died younger, but that wasn't because of the food. It was because of everything else. Let's see what else we got. Any advice on starting a cycle? Well, if you're a female, you should probably talk to your mom, and she'll probably help you out with that.
What?
Oh, you're talking to oh, well, your cycle. I misunderstood that.
Don't ask your mom about any of that, because your mom is not going to know shit.
No, I'm talking about a girl starting her cycle. Her period.
Oh. No, you're not. Are you really?
That's what I'm saying. I
know that's what you were saying. But I'm like, don't ask your mom any of that. Because your mom doesn't need to know any of that.
So they're talking about pads here. Oh. Okay. I get it now.
And also, if you're not competing, you don't need to freaking take peds.
Yeah,
period. I don't understand the
point?
infatuation with, I want to get on stuff. For what?
I understand the infatuation.
I mean, I do too.
Everyone thinks.
But it's not magic.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
oh my God.
The social media and people out there, they're like, because we get comments all the time. Oh, steroids.
That is steroids, actually.
28 years of lifting and eating a certain way. Mm-hmm. Do steroids play a role? Yeah. Do you think I would look like this if I didn't eat 7 meals a day and train like a fucking monster? No. So, that's irritating for us because we put 100 times the average person's amount of work and effort into our daily life to be this way. Is it a tool? Yes, it is a tool. TRT clinics are wide and around the world now. It's because it's important. It's very much a part of the tool. And you cannot have an entire pie that tastes wonderful if you're missing an ingredient, right? And so there's ingredients to each thing that we do in our life, in our day, and that's one of them. It's one of them. It's 1%. It's 3%. Everything else has to be dialed in.
Yeah, but if you can't even dial in the basics, the food, the training, the cardio, the consistency,
The hydration, the sleep, the mental.
all of the basic things, then you don't need to add any extra supplementation in there. If you can't even do 100% of the basics.
And I see so many individuals, and I think females especially, where, and I've heard this from experienced doctors that have a ton of podcasts. Gabrielle Lyons, she's awesome. But she's like, I'm not even going to discuss anything with a female until her mental state and her natural hormones are balanced before we ever talk about moving to that next step. Because a female's body, a male's body is controlled from the testes, right? We can have a bad day, we can get 1 hour of sleep, we still have testosterone. A female gets a bad night of sleep, she has some crazy shit going on in her head, she does not regulate hormones at all properly. And so then you're a roller coaster of, you guys know what I'm talking about, God knows what, right? And then let's just toss a couple of pills on top of it and call it a day. No, why don't you go fucking fix the actual root cause, which is what she just said. Cardio, sleep, hydration, consistency, talking to people if you need to. That all has to be set first.
And so, I'm talking about at 100%. Not at like, some days I do this, some days I do that.
Well, how long would you want to have to see someone there? So you get this person that comes in, like, okay.
I get you have off days here and there, but when it's like every single week there's something fucked up, like...
Every month?
Yeah, you're not even ready to go to the next step. Then.
Every month you're not ready.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I like this, because I have athletes come in, male or female. It's like, they want to do this. I'm not saying you can't, dude, or gal, whatever, that's fine. But the best way to approach it is you have to do these base things first. Mm-hmm. And I need to see it, and I will see it in your check-ins. And if you're really serious, it will be clear as day that you're serious.
Like, I get so many girls that reach out to me that just want to hire me because they want a ped cycle. And I'm like, no, like, leave me alone. Like, that's not what I'm here for.
No. And you guys would be blown away.
Yeah. That's not the secret to the way that I look.
It's like salting your food.
To my strength. Like,
it's salting your. You will never know when we are on or off.
Exactly.
Because we train the same, we keep the diet the same. We might take an extra rest day here or there. You would never fucking know. You would never know. And most pros, you'll never know there too. And when they say,
know what I take, like, none of your fucking business, because what I take ain't gonna work for you anyway. Because you probably do a quarter of the work that I do.
As a coach, I've seen all of these protocols that people come in with or that they're on, and she is one of the minimalists because she puts in the work.
I'd rather do the work than have to take really hard, aggressive cycles.
Now, is it important at her level? Absolutely. But when you're fucking 20 and you just started, she was a swimmer, she was athletic, she did all these things before. Like, I was talking about this today with some other guys. If you look at all of us that are really good now, when we were natural at 12 years old, you could be like, that dude's going to be that because he just naturally had it. You know what I mean? So when you're coming off of being out of shape until you're in your mid-20s, like out of shape, like 100 pounds overweight, or can you eventually get there? Some can. Most can't. Most just can't ever get to that pro status. Most can't even get to winning a local show, you know. I don't ever want to discourage anyone. I want you to go at it 100%, but just to get on stage, there's other things you can do with your life that are just as good, or probably more practical and more beneficial in the pocket than jumping into these stages. Because, man, for a young chick, they have suits up to $2,000, tanning, hair, makeup, entry fees, travel. Dudes, I'm talking young when you first started. Dudes, it's like $4,000, $40 posing trunks, slap some oil on, jump on stage, right? You know, half the dudes have hair, don't even do their fucking hair.
Yeah.
They look like sleep in their eyes and they're on stage, you know? So, you know, why don't you get your financial place in order?
Yeah.
I mean, that is so key, especially for girls. And I coach a lot of women, so I see it, you know, at a young age. Financially, you got to be set. Mentally, you have to have a strong mental presence about you, and you got to be consistent with everything, because literally 2 days off of any of that, you guys are like a goddamn roller coaster, and it's nature. It's not my fault. It's not your fault. It's just natural. I mean, that's what nature does, right? It's natural law. I mean, it's how you were made. That's how God made us. It is what it is. So, there's no quick fix. There never has been. I've looked for them for 28 years. I still haven't found it.
So taking anything is not the answer. Dial in everything else first. Get that going 100% for some years under your belt. Maximize your natural potential first by doing all those things at 100%. And then, once you've gotten to the maximum that you can be naturally, then you can think about adding in some extras. But until then...
You know, and let's preface that, because even when you were 20, you had a trainer.
Yeah.
You had someone that knew more than you at the time that was guiding you. Because anybody could be like, oh, I'm at my max. Yeah. And I can look at you and go, I'm 40. I've trained for 28 years, and I'm not at my max. Yeah. I'm still not at my max. So I know... Like, you're never going to ever reach your full potential. In my opinion, you'll never will. But you'll get to a spot that's like, with an experienced coach, with an experienced set of eyes, okay, that boy's ready, you know, or that gal's ready. And it's like, people want to bypass the fact that they have to learn how to train, learn how to activate, and they just want the card. The pro card, the medal on stage. I did this for my Instagram page. And it's like, why don't you shoot your fat ass while you're on your bike and say, I'm fucking killing this morning. I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna say, fuck yeah, let's go. I don't care. I see you working your ass off. That's what drives me to be better. I see people that have less than I do, and that motivates me because I have more, but I've worked for it. But it's like, fuck, if that guy's doing it, then I have nothing to complain about, you know? If that gal's doing that, I can fucking do that, you know? And I mean, shit, I used Chris Fine last year, poor bastard. You know, he had like 7 fucking surgeries. And I was like, oh my head. I'm like, wait a minute. This dude just had his hip replaced. I'm not bitching. Mine hurts, but I'm gonna fucking get through it. I'm gonna figure it out, right?
He was back in the gym like...
Oh, he's a monster. He'll be getting his
weeks
card
later or something.
He'll be getting his card this year. And you know what? He sent me a message saying the same thing I've been thinking about him. You motivate, you know, so we're motivating each other just by watching us work. Not because of the card, not because of this or that, just because we're busting ass.
Yeah. Hard ass work is hard ass work.
Yep.
And there are very few people out there who actually do it, so.
Yeah, man, a lot of passion in today's fucking episode.
Poop fingers.
Poop fingers, fucking IFBB trying to make IFBB's NPCs.
Divisions that shouldn't be divisions.
Grateful for the division. It gives us a platform.
Food,
come on, guys.
Carbs, fat, protein.
Balanced diet, consistency in training.
No drugs until you're ready for them.
And how do you know you're ready? Just
you
give
a
us a
coach
call.
who knows.
Send me a message. I'll
get you a
guide
coach
you.
who watches what you do in the gym and can tell you if you're ready or not.
More so than not.
Yeah.
More so than not. I'll be able to help you learn how to train and see more results from that. And I've done it with many, many clients. Just adjusted training style and food plans. I can help you out there more than you would even know. And you'd be like, holy shit, I was just going to slam a whole bunch of needles in me for what? You know what I mean?
Just to fuck up my organs and
fuck up your organs.
Change things, female-wise, change things for the rest of your life that will never come back to the way they once were.
And as soon as you stop, if you don't have that base there, you will lose it. Yeah. And that's why those that are pros, you won't know because they have the base and they always work that base. But thank you guys again. Remember, Mrs. Beast back on Instagram. Start bothering her. But give us more questions. We love this. This is the fun stuff we get to chat about. And very grateful. Thank you. Share this if you find any added value in your life and your buddies. Please share this, and we'll see you next week.
Stay away from poop fingers. Yeah.